Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 167th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. I thought this game would be unusual, as this is a 2v2, and I very rarely put on 2v2 games, but I thought it was just something a bit different, and I hope you enjoy it. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Keeper of Secrets, and he has bought the Macedon faction. And then myself, Spartan Commander, who for once has bought the Greek cities factions. A lot of people have asked me why I call myself Spartan Commander, and I hardly ever use the Greek cities faction. Well, when Rome Total War first came out, for the first 3 months of the game, I only played with the Greek cities faction. So hence my name, Spartan Commander. Both Keeper of Secrets and myself have been playing Rome Total War since it first came out, although Keeper of Secrets has just come back from a 6-year break. So it should be an interesting game for you to watch. I hope you enjoy it. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Keeper of Secrets' Macedon army here. As you can see, I think he's got about 13 pike units there. As you can see, with those very long pikes. Remember, Roman generals watching this, you know if you put Roman infantry head on against pike units, you've got a long way to fight down those pikes to kill the men on the other side there, as we've seen in other battle videos. He has also bought the Cretan archers. They've got long distance arrows and do a lot of damage. And then he has bought the winged riders, or the companion cavalry. These cavalry are tough, quite fast moving, and if used correctly they can be battle winning troops. They are quite an underestimated cavalry, I think. So there's Keeper of Secrets Macedon army. Should be interesting to see how well it does. Regular viewers of our Brotherhood YouTube channel will know that sometimes I bring very old armies from the past. I clean them up, dust them off, and bring them onto the modern day battlefield. Now this Greek cities army is probably 7 to 8 years old, but I thought I'd bring it onto the modern day 2015 RTW battlefield to see how well it does against modern Rome Total War players. As you can see there, I think I've got about 14 Spartans, and I've got the cheap archers, the ones with the short range. So it should be interesting to see how this very old army does on a modern battlefield. And here is the other team. We have IOW Joel Osteen, who has bought the Carthage faction. As you can see there, he's got quite a good army. I think it's about 15 pike units, from what I can see, plus the Balearic slingers. They've got good range and can do quite a lot of damage. I think he's got 3 units of those. And also, I think he's got some Numidian mercenaries. Now these are missile cavalry. They're very fast moving and can do a lot of damage. You don't often see them on the modern 31k battlefield, so it'll be interesting to see how this Carthaginian army goes. And then his teammate is also an IOW member. It's IOW Bubo. As a lot of you will know, Bubo plays with pike factions a lot and has got very good with them. So whenever you see him with a pike faction, you know you're in for a challenge. In this particular Seleucid army, you can see that he's got 2 Silver Shield Legionnaires at the front of his battle formation. They can throw pilers, but they're not really as good as the Roman urban cohorts. Then you can see he's got a lot of the Seleucid pike units there. He's got 1 unit of archers, but at the back, if you notice there, he has got his cataphract, as we call them, the tank cavalry of the ancient world. If you look closely at them, you can see that they're armoured from head to foot, very difficult to kill. They've got a big cavalry charge, and make no mistake, these cavalry can be battle-changing troops, so they're always a formidable force to face. So that's 4 cataphract tank cavalry he's got there. And then over to the far right, you can see he's got his general unit, and he's got some companion cavalry as well, the winged horsemen, if you like, there by their helmets. If you look at their helmets, and there you have, you see he's got a cavalry general unit. So I think that's a pretty effective looking Seleucid army there, and I think it's got the ingredients to be a great battle for you to watch. I hope you enjoy this 2v2. Right, okay, here is an overview of the battle at the very beginning. of the battle here. As you can see, the Seleucid cavalry has moved some units out to our right there, and if you notice that Keeper of Secrets has moved his archers over slightly, but he's shadowing them with a pike unit there. Plus he's got his cavalry there to back up that pike unit if necessary. So there, as I said, there's a general overview of the battle at the very beginning. You can see there's that those Numidian mercenary cavalry out there, and I think that's a Canterbury circle they were using just then, as they rode round and round firing missiles at my my cheap archers there. So as long as they want to kill my cheap archers, I don't really mind. Really, keep them away from my Spartans. Meanwhile, back at the main battlefield here, if you can see, I've decided to attack with my Spartans. To be honest with you, the strategy and tactics of my army here was just to try and punch a hole through the battle line of those Carthaginians, to kind of smash a hole through the Carthaginian pike army there. That's the only strategy and tactics that I've got in mind here. That's all I'm going to do. And if I can smash a hole through their army and rout most of their units, then I'd be able to go over and help my teammate out there if he needs it. So that's kind of the tactical thinking behind my army at the moment. If you look at the rear here, you can see that the Seleucid have actually got a lot of cavalry superiority there, and that's always a worry when you're in charge of a pike army, is if the enemy has got cavalry superiority and are actually behind you as well. Let's pause the game for a second for us to take stock of the situation. As I said here, I am just moving my Spartans forward, using their 2 hit points to great effect. Obviously the 2 hit points make them difficult to kill, and as I say, my main tactic here is just try and punch a hole through that Carthaginian army there. So I'm just moving forward, advancing into the Carthaginian pikes. No sitting back from me. It's an aggressive attacking strategy that I'm adopting here. So it'd be interesting to see if my Spartans can actually do that, because those Carthaginian Sacred Band pikemen are very tough, and they've got good upgrades in this battle too. As you see at the back, unfortunately my Macedon ally has lost a cavalry unit there, and if you look at the amount of Seleucid cavalry in behind us, as I say, that's always a worrying sign if you're a pike general, to see enemy cavalry in behind. You can see there's a couple of Seleucid cavalry units out to the right of our my allies' flank there as well. You see how the Seleucid generals put his 2 legionary units in Testudo. That will blunt the attack of my Macedon ally if he when he advances forward, as we've seen before. If you notice here, the Carthaginian general is so confident that he's moved his general and another pike unit away from his army over to help his ally. So his army now hasn't got the general morale bonus, as I say, from the general there, because he's decided to move it away. So I always think to myself, I try and keep my general as close to my fighting troops as I can to keep that general morale bonus going for them. So we'll see what happens as the battle goes on. As you can see at the rear here, as I said earlier, the Seleucid cavalry seem to be in control behind us. And also, as I said to you before, if you're a pike general, the last thing you want to see is enemy cavalry in behind you. Remember, if you're a pike general, your weakest point of your pikes is the rear and the flanks. So to see cavalry in behind you is always a bit of a worry. But if you notice, my Greek cities army is still pushing forward. I'm still being really aggressive. As I say, I'm really looking to punch a hole through that Carthage army if I can. Meanwhile, my ally now has moved forward and has become engaged with the Seleucid pikemen there. So it'll be interesting to see how my Macedon ally has done. Remember, Keeper of Secrets has been out of RTW for probably over 6 years, and he feels that he's a bit rusty. So, but he still looks like he's doing pretty good to me. You may well notice now that the Carthage general has decided to bring his general unit and the other pike unit he took over to his ally back to his main army now. Can you see the Seleucid cavalry in behind my pikemen just waiting to strike? If you notice, I've turned some of my Greek cities Spartan units out at the rear to face that cavalry threat. Let's just pause the game for a second to take stock of what exactly is going on there. As I say, you can see the Carthage general has brought his general unit back over to his army there. If you look at the rear, as I said earlier, you can see that the Seleucid cavalry look almost poised and ready to charge into the back of my engaged Spartans. So if you notice, I've turned several of my Spartan units backwards there, pikes ready to counter any heavy cavalry charge that comes in there. Okay, so remember, pike, new players watching this, if you're a pike general, you see enemy cavalry in behind you, put a few of your pike units behind your main battle line facing that enemy cavalry. Meanwhile, over on my flank there, my Macedon ally, Keeper of Secrets, is doing extremely well against that Seleucid, those Seleucid pikemen there. It's an interesting scrap there. I think both pike factions there with their long pikes fighting away. I think that'd be an interesting little tussle over there on the right flank. But as I said, my strategy and tactic here is just to smash a hole through that Carthaginian army and just try and rout as many units as I can, and then run my Spartans over to help my teammate if he needs it. Remember, look how I'm always thinking of teamwork. New players watching this, remember, teamwork is the way that you win your team games. No matter how brilliant you might play as an individual player, if you don't watch out for your teammates and they lose, then probably your team will lose the battle. So always remember, try and look where you can help your teammates here. You notice I've got a lot of my Spartan units facing rear now because I'm worried about that heavy cataphract cavalry coming in behind me. Okay, at this stage of the battle, can you see that IOW Bubo is bringing some of his, well, 4 units of his Seleucid pikemen over here, Silver Shield pikemen over here, to back up his Carthaginian ally. Now that's a sign that obviously their side are a little bit worried about the progress that my Spartans are making through that Carthaginian army. So that's why he sent over those pike units. Once again, new players watching this, teamwork. Good teamwork there by Bubo. Well done to the IOW team there for good teamwork there. If you notice, I've got the units that I can still pressing forward, but I've still got good units at my rear trying to guard my engaged units. So having those units at the rear, I would really like to obviously put them fighting those, especially those fresh Seleucid pike units. But I've got to keep them at the rear to guard my rear. Right, if you notice what my teammate's just done here, just going to pause the game here for us to take stock of exactly what he's just done. He just saw the danger to the rear of my army, and he's brought over one of his pike units and put it in a long line there, an extended line to protect the rear of my fighting Spartans. Nice bit of teamwork there by Keeper of Secrets. See that line there? Deliberately put there to guard my rear so I can turn some of my pike factions units now back on to these fresh Seleucid pikemen that have just been brought over there. So that's a nice bit of teamwork there by Keeper of Secrets. Well done to him. And as you can see over on that flank there, he's having a real tussle with the Seleucid pikemen over there. So be interested to see what happens on that right flank, because it's obviously long pikes against long pikes there, and I suppose the better upgraded infantry on a head-on clash like that would probably come out best. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there over on that right flank. You can see you've got his archers here firing fire arrows into the enemy cavalry. So remember, fire arrows not only cause damage, but they lower the morale of the enemy too. I think with all that Seleucid cavalry advantage there, though, I think things are not looking very good for our team at the moment, I don't think. As I say, as you saw earlier, we just bought 4 fresh units of Seleucid pikemen over as well. Right, can you see that those cataphract cavalry have found a gap to get in behind, into the behind, and smash into the back of my engaged Spartans there? Could you see there was a little gap there, and the Seleucid general found that and charged in. Nice little move by him. Great move, actually. Now, can you see a lot of my Spartan units are starting to rout now from that cataphract cavalry has just charged in there. There was only a little gap, but he smashed in there and caused a big problem for my infantry. Look how many of my Spartans are now routing. Remember, they were badly battle damaged as well. Right, let's just pause the game here for us to take stock of what's just happened there. As you can see, a lot of my Spartan units, as I said, were very battle damaged, and now you can see that that cavalry charging in tipped the balance and routed most of them there. So I've only got a few Spartan units left now, and bearing in mind I'm facing fresh Seleucid pikemen as well with those long pikes, plus there's still Carthage units fighting, plus there's still enemy cavalry units out there as well. So as I say, at this time things are not looking very good for the Brotherhood team. I think that the IOW team at the moment, to be sure, have, from what I can see here, have got a big advantage over us at the moment. So whether the Brotherhood team will be able to turn the tide, we'll just have to wait and see on this. But as you can see a lot of my units now, as I said before, have now routed. So not too sure what's going to happen here on our left flank. There you are, you can see the Seleucid cavalry unit charging in again. This time now I think the angle that he came in there, he's kind of came in onto my downed pikes. So that's why his cavalry unit lost so many men and then routed then. If you notice there's Seleucid generals coming in now, and he's going to charge into the back of my units, and bang! As that Seleucid, or Seleucid, depends on how you pronounce it, charged into the back of my engaged Spartan unit there. And of course the thing is, I've turned some units round to face that general unit, so of course I'm taking them away from fighting the enemy pike units, which is probably what he wanted me to do anyway. And of course if you turn a unit that's engaged to face the enemy, then of course you're turning their backs to the pikes of the enemy and getting a lot of casualties for it too. Meanwhile, back over on our right flank here, you can see Keeper of Secrets is doing very well with Macedon there. It's a real slogging match, I think, over on that right flank there between the Seleucid long pike units and the Macedon pike units. As I say, it looks like a real slog there. As you can see here, we've just routed the Carthaginian general, and as you've seen in other battle videos, if we can rout the general, then the morale of his troops will now drop. And if you notice now, I've got a few very battle damaged Spartan units left. I'm just trying to kill that that last Seleucid unit that came over to support his allies. As you can see, there's another Seleucid unit and a Carthage unit still there moving in on my flank. I think most of my Spartan infantry have been fighting all the way through the battle, so they're going to be tired. But their morale is excellent and they've got extremely good specs, so I'm hoping that they'll still be able to go over and help my teammate out here. Although, to be honest, from the way I see that he's fighting here, I don't think he really needs any help. He's doing really well here. And bearing in mind he's had a 6-year, if you like, rest from RTW, and feels that he's a bit rusty. I think if you look at the way that he's fighting here, I think he's doing extremely good. He's routing most of those Seleucid units that he was fighting there. So really well done to Keeper of Secrets. Extremely good. I noticed a lot of good tactical moves by him as he was moving pike units round the rear and targeting with his archers there as well. Really weakening the enemy. So really well done to Keeper of Secrets there. He's played really well. It looks at this stage of the battle that we've managed to turn things round here. And it looks like we've managed to go on and win this battle now. Yeah, really well done to Keeper of Secrets there. Really well played there. And really good support. As you saw, he brought that unit over to cover my rear. He could see I was in trouble there and sent units straight over to help. As I said, new players watching this, really great teamwork. And there was a lot of good teamwork by the other team too. Right, the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to both teams here. If you look at the victory, you'll see that it is a very close victory. Very close victory. So really well played to the other team there. I thought Bubo and Joel played extremely well and did credit to the IOW clan there. And I'd like to say really well done to Keeper of Secrets, as I say, a Brotherhood member who's just coming back from a 6-year break. If you look at the kills that Bubo got there, 1628, really well done for Seleucid there. Just have a look at the Spartan kills here. As you see, the Spartan hoplites, with their 2 hit points, they can get really good kills. And as I say, this is a really old army. I reckon this army is probably 7 or 8 years old. But obviously it still seems to do okay on the modern 2015 RTW battlefield. So, yeah, it didn't do too bad really for such an old army. So I hope you enjoyed this 2v2. As I say, it's very rare for me to put on a 2v2. And I hope you liked it. And I look forward to seeing you soon, Spartan Commander. Bye for now.